This video is about wage slavery. Is there really something like wage slavery? Because in the past we knew there were slaves, they were working for their master, and in return they get food, clothing, and shelter, and normally not a wage or a very limited wage. But nowadays they talk about wage slavery, and wage slavery would then be that you work for your master in this case, but you're independent, so to say, and you get a wage. And for that wage, you can buy whatever you want. But is that really the case? Because the essentials of life, food, clothing, and shelter, if all your money goes into there, is it then really independence? Or is it another form of slavery? From you work, you trade your time for a wage to support your life. And if that is the case, then a lot of people talk about wage slavery. On the other hand, it is not a modern thing, because this has been done for all the history that we know, that people were just hanging on the thread of their life by working very hard to support their life and trading all the time and all their health to just live another day. But in modern day times, this is of course more frowned upon, and rightfully so. So why would it be necessary to trade all your energy to just sustain your life? That is not the essence of life, of course. And that's the problem with wage slavery. And as I discussed, it is different because you can choose which master you serve, because you can work for another party. But oftentimes those jobs are not that easy to get, or there's a lot of competition, and then your choices are also limited. So perhaps you can only work for one master, and then perhaps people will tell you this is making it even more into slavery, because I'm a slave and he is my master or she is my master. There are some things that you can do about this. It will not solve this issue, it will not, but it can lessen the impact. And things that you can do, for example, get a job or work towards a job, educate yourself, be very sought after, so that you have a job that gives you a higher income than the minimum needed. So that way you still need to put effort in to survive, but the surplus that you have, you can also put towards a better life, so to say. So, for example, you can have some more luxury, you can have some more peace of mind, because you're not living paycheck to paycheck, because you have some reserves. And if that is the case, that is a good thing to consider. But there are also quite some hurdles to take. Oftentimes you need a lot of education, or you need to have expertise, and you need to be educated by someone who has that expertise. So first things first, education is a sword that really can help to cut through some limitations, some hurdles. You need to have some education to apply for functions. But oftentimes it also will become another master of you. How so? Because you try to escape slavery, right? So why would you accept another master? Because it takes a lot of time, and that time you cannot use to support yourself, because you're dedicated to that time instead of supporting yourself towards, for example, education. So are you really a wage slave to begin with if you can have that additional time and direct it towards education? Something to think about, because if you're free in your mind, that's the first step. The other thing is, oftentimes it costs quite a lot of money. So for example, if you do an education of 4 to 6 years and you're losing all the time, that's earning potential, so to say, but also you lose the money that is needed to get that education, you will start then your working life with another one exerting power over you because you have a debt that you have to pay, namely your study debt. So there's also a thing to consider. Still, it could be very beneficial to do an education, but please take into consideration that once you educate yourself for something, that you, in the foreseeable future, you will have a sought after set of skills that will land you the job that you want, and also the pay grade that you expect it to be. Is it really worth it compared to other scenarios? And will that be sustainable for the coming period? Because if robots and the artificial intelligence, for example, are taking away this set of skills, is it really wise to invest a lot of time and money and it are assets of you, time and financial assets are there to be sacrificed for the greater good. And the greater good means that you have job security, you have something that you really like to do, a better salary, etc. But that should be in balance. Another thing to consider is that if you are able to work with your hands, oftentimes this is very good. In the past, everyone was seeking education, but nowadays a craftsman is worth its weight in gold because there are very limited amount of craftsmen and there's a lot of need, especially because a lot of things become more and more complex. And if you are there and you have that particular set of skills, you will be sought after. And it also shortens a lot of the educational need because craftsmen, you often learn the craft by just doing it. And if you're already doing it and you're being schooled, you also get a small salary to begin with. So you can, instead of investing money, you already get a little bit of money that could perhaps sustain you or work towards sustaining yourself. And if that is the case, I think working with your hands is a very good thing, but also see if there are possibilities that in the future that you can also work with your mind. So you go from working with your hands to working with your mind. And why is that? Because oftentimes when you get older, your muscles and your strength and your flexibility and your restoring capability, if you're damaged, dwindle down. And it will be hard for you to sustain a job only working with your hands. So for example, if you then become more of a leader in your field, for example, you have other employees that are doing the hand work and you're there to talk to customers or to the sales or whatever, or become an advisor, could be beneficial for you on a later stage of your life. Another thing to consider is that you can also become independent. So you can have your own company, and even if you're working intellectual by hand, this can be done. And then of course you will be more in danger with factors of you becoming sick, your health deteriorating, or if you don't have a customer, then it will be a bad thing that you're independent because you will suffer all that directly. Whereas if you're in a job, for example, you become ill, then you have some days that you still get paid. That is like a security there if you're falling. And also if there is one customer is stopping, that company that you work for often has multiple set of customers, so you still have all those errors. Also, if you need a colleague to help you out, it's already in the company. But the drawback is if you're working very hard and other people are more dragging their feet, then you also have to pull their weight. Whereas if you're independent, you only have to pull your own weight and you reap all the benefits of the work that you do. So there are some things to consider here. Hope this short video helps. It is not solving it, but every small thing might help. Also, if you put something when you live in paycheck to paycheck, this will not be possible. But if you have a surplus, because you can of course invest it in liabilities, luxury goods, for example, or you can invest in assets. And assets are things that provide something, they produce something. So, for example, stock, a rental property can be small, whatever rings your bell or ticks your boxes. So then you also get income even if you're not working. Things to consider. Found my car from the desktop. Out.